नमस्कार। तो आज हम भाई बात करने वाले उस टॉपिक पे जिसका आपको बहुत बेसब्री से इंतजार था, आप काफी टाइम से पूछ भी रहे हैं कि एजेंट कैसे कैसे हमको मिलेगा, एजेंट क्या काम करता है। तो उन सब चीजों को आज हम आपको बताने वाले हैं और हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट शख्स शिवादित्य बोस, जो कि एक फुटबॉल एजेंट है और वाइब्रेंट स्पोर्ट्स के ये को फाउंडर भी है। तो वेलकम भाई।
थैंक यू सो मच भाई, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर हैविंग मी। बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आपने बुलाया इधर। ऐसे टॉपिक्स के बारे में बात करना इम्पोर्टेंट है एंड होप करता हूँ कि इसके बारे में काफी अच्छे से बात कर पाएंगे आज।
यस श्योर। और देखिए, जैसे कि आपको पता है कि हमारे यहाँ पर एजुकेशन थोड़ा बहुत वीक है एजेंट के मामले में। फुटबॉल एजुकेशन आप क्लियरली बोल सकते हैं, प्लेयर्स को नहीं पता है, इवन फैंस को भी नहीं पता है कि क्या चलता है क्या होता है।
हाँ,
तो सबसे पहले तो मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहूंगा कि व्हाट इज फुटबॉल एजेंट।
okay. It's very simple topic to understand that a football agent is someone that firstly there are multiple aspects to football agent में होता है। Firstly, एक फुटबॉल एजेंट अच्छे टैलेंट को स्काउट करता है, ट्राइज देयर बेस्ट टू देखने के लिए कि दे गो टू मैचेस देखने के लिए, अच्छा भाई कौन प्लेयर कैसा खेल रहा है, and trying to understand कि उस प्लेयर का करंट मेंटालिटी कैसा है, एंड देन ट्राइंग टू अप्रोच देम एंड सी कि इफ यू फील, अगर कोई एजेंट फील करता है कि अच्छा आई कैन, दिस प्लेयर कैन eventually become a big guy or a big guy in Indian football, or this player has potential, then हम जाके उनको we kind of talk to them, be like what are their goals, उनको उनको आगे क्या करना है, right? So that is one facet of what an agent is, trying to support, not just be, I wouldn't say I would be kind of a, मैं उनका पेरेंट्स नहीं बनना चाहता, बट एज एन एजेंट उनका काम होगा कि बीइंग अ मेंटर और बीइंग जस्ट अ फ्रेंड, जिसको एट टाइम्स अगर कुछ सुनना पड़े कि दे आर फ्रस्ट्रेटेड और समथिंग लाइक दैट, in a very footballing sense, right? Not कि घर पे कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, obviously आओगे तो सुनूंगा, but I'm not there, I'm just there to if there's any in a footballing sense अगर कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, I'm there to solve that, obviously. The second work of an agent is obviously, जो सब जानते हैं, to get clubs for players, right? So agent basically क्या करता है, एक प्लेयर है और एक क्लब है, ठीक है? वो उनके बीच में एक काइंड ऑफ इंटरमीडियरी बन जाता है टू मेक द, टू हैव काइंड ऑफ बैलेंस आउट बोथ द वेज कि प्लेयर को क्या चाहिए, क्लब को क्या चाहिए, राइट? एंड एक बीच का एक बैलेंस मेंटेन करके उस पूरे जो इकोसिस्टम है उसको आगे बढ़ाना, right? So that is the second part, and third part is, which is the, I feel is the most important part, is trying to do a proper negotiation with clubs, ठीक है? कि negotiation हो गया, plus also ensuring contracts सही है कि नहीं, because a lot of the times, at least Indian football में मैंने काफी देखा है that कुछ ना कुछ गड़बड़ होगा, कुछ तो कोई ना कोई क्लॉज होगा जो मतलब जो मुझे खटकता है एंड नॉर्मल प्लेयर को नहीं समझ में आएगा, राइट? तो उसको फिक्स करना, उसको उसको प्लेयर को इसके बारे में इन्फॉर्म करना है कि भाई ये गलत क्यों है ना? तो उन सब का नॉलेज रखते हुए पूरे सिस्टम को आगे बढ़ाना, प्लेयर को राइट फ्रॉम अप्रोचिंग द प्लेयर टू आस्किंग की एक्सपेक्टेशंस कितना है, to kind of in my own manner talking to the club ki this is why you should take this player, and post that kind of understanding, okay, how much a club पैसों के बारे में या फिर yearly wise or sponsorship wise, how what a club can do for the player, and then उनको सब collate करके बीच में एक बैलेंस रखना, आफ्टर विच दैट उसके बाद ऑल्सो फिर क्लब्स के साथ कनेक्ट करवाना प्लेयर्स को, एंड फ्रॉम देयर once the player has also started playing for the club, उस टाइम पे भी एजेंट का काम होता है कि if there's any conflict with the club, like in India there has been a lot of problems कि a lot of the times there's not a lot of salary नहीं मिलती कभी कभी, right? So helping a player get that, there's in India and in every single football federation there are proper channels of doing this. आप अभी किसी ओनर के पास जाओगे, बोलेगे भाई मुझे सैलरी दो, ऐसे कितनी, 2 बार पूछोगे, 3 बार पूछोगे, चौथी बार पूछोगे तो शायद नहीं, इतना इट्स नॉट दैट इफेक्टिव, राइट? But when you go through the proper channels, then that's when it becomes more effective. So these are all the things an agent can help with, and India में especially ये बहुत काम की चीज है having an agent, because players also aren't very educated, जैसा आपने भी बोला था, players also aren't very educated कि how to go about this entire process कि club मिलना कैसे है. So that is when an agent comes in, and I feel it's a very important thing to have.
और जैसे कि एजेंट है, तो क्या
Hmm.
एजेंट एक इंडिविजुअल भी हो सकता है या एजेंसी ही होगी, ऐसा जरूरी होता है?
राइट, सो दोनों हो सकते हैं. फॉर इंस्टेंस मेरी एजेंसी का नाम है वाइब्रेंट स्पोर्ट्स ग्रुप. वी हैव मल्टीपल पीपल इन माय own agency working as agents, so I'm one of them. Have another, the original founder of the agency, Rahul Podar, he's also an agent. So it can work in multiple ways. It can be a company भी हो सकती है. बहुत जगह होते हैं कि there's only one person handling all those players. It is basically कि who is the right fit for you, है ना? So वो ढूंढना, it might be a person, might be just one person, might be an entire company. So it can be both. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि भाई अगर एक बंदा चला रहा है तो एजेंसी खराब हो गई, नहीं, दोनों हो सकता है. So there's nothing ऐसे स्पेसिफिक, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
तो जैसे एक फुटबॉल एजेंट के लिए कौन सी चीजें बहुत जरूरी होती है? अगर वो कुछ पढ़ाई करके आ रहा है, एजुकेशन लेके आ रहा है, तो इफ वो कोई स्पोर्ट्स मैनेजमेंट करके आ रहा है तो मे बी उसके लिए इजी हो सकता है, बट उसने स्पोर्ट्स मैनेजमेंट नहीं किया है, तो क्या वो भी इसमें आ सकता है?
एब्सोल्युटली. मेरी डिग्री है इंजीनियरिंग में, ठीक है.
अच्छा।
So I am completely, I haven't done my sports management, but even then I believe I I am a person who can, who, मतलब मैं काम कर सकता हूँ अच्छे से इस इंडस्ट्री में, and that I've realized in the last few years. I'm not boasting about it, but it's kind of a self realization कि okay, I've kind of settled into the industry now, right? So in that way, firstly, having a business mindset, knowing how to negotiate, knowing how to talk to people. If अगर आप जानते हो अलग अलग लोगों से कैसे बात करनी है, right, then you're 30% there, right? Now, every day you might get a call from Imphal, Bangalore, or even from Spain or Portugal, right? Or Germany for that matter, right? So आपको समझना पड़ेगा कि आप बात कैसे करते हो. You can't talk to a Spanish agent the same way you're talking to someone दिल्ली का लौंडा. आप समझ रहे हो? So having that idea कि how to talk, when to talk is very important. That is the 30% of it. That's what I understand, right? Second is, I feel the most important thing is, as I said, having a business mindset, right? That मान लो you start, like, you're trying to get an X value for your player, right? And you know that the club can only do Y. So beach ka kaise laoge, you have to be very careful with that. So having that, jugaad on apne andar, that's one. Third is being very open. Like, we have to be very confident. You have to be very open to new opportunities, right? So as an agent, if I'm scared of talking to someone, right, then I cannot be an agent. I have to be very confident about myself that if I'm talking to somebody, or मैं किसी से बात कर रहा हूँ, I know what to talk to them about, and my goals are set कि I want to talk to this player about this thing, and only then बात आगे बढ़ेगी, right? तो अगर मान लो मैं स्काउटिंग करने गया हूँ, फॉर इंस्टेंस, अगर मैं स्टेडियम में बैठा हूँ और मुझे डर लग रहा है कि भाई ये तो अच्छा प्लेयर है, मैं बात कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं, then it won't work out, right? You need to the players should feel you're approachable, firstly. Second, you need to approach those players in a way that they feel comfortable talking to you, right? That's the third thing. Fourth, having a good knowledge of all the terms that are going on in the footballing industry: release clause, loan fee, transfer window kya hota hai, PSC, player status committee, all of that. You need to have a good knowledge, and iske liye, you just don't get it in एक बार पढ़ लिया तो सब ठीक हो. You need to understand the functionalities of each and everything. अगर आप फंक्शन समझ जाओगे ना, देन आप आगे बढ़ सकते हो, ठीक है. एंड fourth thing fourth or fifth thing, I think, yeah, fifth thing, I think, is you have to be very hardworking in this industry. यू नो, क्योंकि अगर आप सोच लोगे कि भाई मैंने आज दिन में 10-15 बार लोगों से बात कर लिया है एंड मेरा आज का हो गया, then it's not going to work out, right? If you start thinking भाई एक डील नहीं हुई ना, क्या हो गया? If you start kind of thinking that one deal's not happening, second deal's also not happening, third deal will also not happen, you there will always be failures in this industry. I'm 100%. You can talk to any agent in this industry and they'll be like they have had so many failed deals. You can't आप उस पे बैठ के ये नहीं सोचते I'm not good enough. You need to have that self confidence. You need to have that positivity कि आप आगे जाके करोगे, and you have to keep trying. You have to keep trying, and only then things will work out. So I feel these are few of the, from a very, personality point of view, characteristics point of view, these are the very important things which are required to be an agent. उसके अलावा, the exams, FIFA exams, वो सब तो है ही, right? But these few things I feel are the crux of how you can become an agent.
ओके। एक चीज मैं पूछना ही चाहूंगा, जैसे प्लेयर्स जो होते हैं, अब जैसे 10 साल का हुआ, 13 साल का हुआ, या 18 साल का हुआ, तो एक प्लेयर को किस एज में एजेंट उसको मतलब चाहिए होता है?
ओके, फर्स्टली जब 15 साल के हो तब बस फुटबॉल एंजॉय करो, राइट? नाउ when you're at 15 or 16 or 17, you also need to be at a stage जहाँ पे you can even ask an agent कि भाई can you work for me, right? For instance, if a 15 or 16-year-old is playing, let's say, Delhi third division, right? I wouldn't want to represent that player because I have to value my time as well, and I have to value the player's time as well. कि मैं उसको बैठा के नहीं, मुझे उसको प्लेयर को भी बैठा के नहीं रखना भाई मैं तेरे लिए नो I'll find a club for you. It's not, मैं ऐसा नहीं करता, I try to be very transparent with people. If I'm able to if I think I'll be able to find a club for you, I will do that, right? So when you feel that you're at a good stage in your career, when you feel that okay, you're playing at a nationally recognized stage, right? Let's say Delhi first division ho gaya, Mizoram state league ho gaya, or Goa pro league ho gaya, or let's say all the BDFA and these good, or even BDFA second division. That's when you can even start thinking about having an agent, because before that it is all about trying doing your own hard work, कि trials पे जाओ, trials पे जाके खेलो, and just taking feedback from your own coaches ki sir how can I do better, and then, and I'll tell you one thing, coaches are the most, I feel they're the first agents you can have, right? So
Correct,
because
right.
so coaches will always help you out कि वो बोलेंगे बेटा देखो आपको ये improve करना है, आपको ये you need to this, how you need to play better. And if they see okay, this kid is doing well, they will themselves try to put you in a better team or better place, right? So that all of this is very important, right? Like for instance, just a small example. Obviously, I won't name the player, but there was this very young player who was on the brink of going into India under 17, right? And his coach one day told me that मेरे पास एक बहुत बढ़िया लड़का है, he's very down to earth guy, he plays well, scored I think 11-12 goals in Subrata Cup, right? You have a look at him, right? So I went, we got his videos and we tried to understand how the players, and player was really good, right? Now agar for an agent to recognize a player is very good, you need to reach a stage जहाँ पे मैं देख पाऊँ ना उसको, सुब्रो तो कब पहुंचा है इसलिए तो मैं देख पाया, कोच ने मुझे बताया इसलिए तो मैं देख पाया उसको. So all of these things matter a lot. So again, 15, at the age of 15, enjoy football. 16, enjoy football. When you're at a stage you feel that you've achieved something, then start thinking about having an agent.
और एक मिथ है जो शायद हर प्लेयर ऐसा ही सोचता है बिकॉज ऑफ फिल्म देख के या वीडियोस देख के, कि आफ्टर गेटिंग एन एजेंट अब आपकी लाइफ सेट है, तो क्या ये कितना सच है?
This is, I think we were just talking about this earlier, but this is not at all true. देखो भाई, agents भगवान नहीं है, right? At the end of the day, we are also humans, and this is simple economics, demand and supply की बात है ये. If a if a club has a certain requirement, right? उनको अगर लेफ्ट बैक चाहिए तभी मैं लेफ्ट बैक दे पाऊंगा, right? So that way, as a player, right? If you come to me and ask, like, मुझे अब क्लब देना ही पड़ेगा, but let's say if you are only playing 5 minutes in a season or 2 minutes in a season, you can't expect me to, get you into ISL or even iLeague for that matter, right? So you एक प्लेयर को खुद का हार्ड वर्क करना पड़ेगा. अ प्लेयर को खुद रियलाइजेशन होना चाहिए कि भाई मैं अगर इफ आई एम डूइंग वेल, ओनली देन माय एजेंट कैन डू समथिंग अबाउट मी, राइट? आई एम जस्ट काइंड ऑफ एन इंटरमीडियरी बिटवीन यू एंड द क्लब who can help you get things through, but only if you put in that effort. The moment I see that you're not putting that effort, and the moment I see that you are not able to, fulfill what जो आपने मुझे promise किया था, right? At that time, it is kind of मेरे लिए भी हो जाते, but why am I working for this guy? क्योंकि ये तो खुद effort डाल, क्लब मिल गया, अब वो तो जाके मजे कर रहा है, right? So and also, on the flip side to it, बहुत बार होता है कि a player there's a difference between a player not getting time and a player not trying enough, right? A lot of times hota hai that there might be just better players in your position, right? For instance, if Sandesh Jingan is playing in your team, right, howsoever good of a player you might be, right, in the center back position, you will not get that opportunity, right? You have to understand that. So iske wajah se, you have to be very you have to believe in yourself, and uske saath saath you need to show everybody that you're doing the hard work. Now, if you're showing everybody that you're doing the hard work, then I have no problem working with that player. So you just have to show that enthusiasm. You just have to show that you really, really need it and you really, really want it. Rest, then you can leave it up to me, right? Rest after that, it's my job. So again, a agent is just a messenger between the club and the player. The hard work has to be done by the player. Without that, मैं भी आ जाऊं, मैं कुछ नहीं कर पाऊंगा, मेसी का एजेंट भी आ जाए, वो भी कुछ नहीं कर पाएगा. So that's at least the gist of it.
एंड लेट्स से कि एक प्लेयर है जिसने कभी किसी एजेंट के साथ नहीं रहा है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में, बट वो बहुत अच्छी अच्छी लीग्स खेल रहा है, उसका सीवी भी बहुत अच्छा है, तो उस प्लेयर को कैसे अप्रोच करना चाहिए किसी एजेंट को? एंड वन मोर क्वेश्चन मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगा कि अगर कोई प्लेयर फॉरेन डेवलपमेंट लेकर आता है तो क्या उसका बेनिफिट कितना मिलता है?
Okay, so I'll answer this in two parts. So the first is, agents always want good players. I'll say this in a very simple sense. Agents will always want good players. So if you're a good player, even if you send me a text on Instagram, right, that I don't have an agent, I need a team, right, then even then we will respond. It's all about आप effort तो डालो बात करने के लिए, right? आप अपना CV तो भेजो. Take that initiative now. If you don't take that initiative, I don't know if you're sitting in Mizoram, I don't know you exist. You take that initiative, send me your material. And also, very important thing is to have your videos. Players often think कि भाई, I've just sent my CV देख के हो जाएगा काम. No, I also need to see you play, right? Because at the end of the day, how you play matters the most, right? So having these things with you is very important, right? And only then I can help you out. So if you ever want to get an agent, first step is make your CV. Second step, make, अगर ज्यादा footage नहीं है, जितना है उससे काम चलाओ, right? Try your best. So उसका video बनाओ. Third, text agents you want to work with, right? Or maybe let's say, I'll be very honest saying that maybe if there's a 17-18-year-old who hasn't played at that big of a level, a really big agency might not really talk to you, right? but there are always smaller agencies who are always looking for players like that, because those guys are the ones who will probably take you ahead after that. So don't hesitate on just texting people who might not have big players, or do not hesitate. आपका काम है अपना काम चलाना, right? अगर बड़े एजेंट से हो छोटे एजेंट से हो वो फर्क नहीं पड़ता, right? So just taking that initiative matters a lot. Answering your second question now, in India, it's a very weird thing in India जो मैंने इधर ही देखा है. When I'm in MLS और जब universities में when I worked with them, it does not work that way. But this only works in India. When you go outside, it helps you a lot develop as a player, right? Immensely, right? I have very good example is Aryan Saroha, who recently joined Hyderabad FC. आज ही उसके announcement हुई है, right? He
Okay.
is one of the most hardworking players I've seen, because I know his journey of how he went to Spain and all of that, right? But that recognition of the fact that you've played in Spain only adds a very bit of a value in India when it comes to the top two divisions, right? Because they all, like, clubs would always want to see how that player has performed in India, right? You might do excellent in the Tercera division in Spain, but this is always there that they want to see how you've performed in India. So you need to have a balance of both. Ki bhai, if I'm playing outside, you know, and you need to know that if I want to make a career in India, when would I want to come back, right? But if you don't want to make a career in India, please keep trying outside. Like, please, there's no need for you to, if you don't think of playing in India anymore, but keep trying, right? So again, having that base in India, having that recognition in India matters a lot. Okay, so um, again, just to reiterate the fact that please do go outside and play. If you get the opportunity, foreign development matters a lot, because that is over there development actual bahut hoti hai. Because player these guys play 40 to 50 matches, 60 matches in the season in the fourth division, fifth division in Spain. तो खेलते खेलते डेवलपमेंट हो जाती है. बट अगर इंडिया में खेलना है आपको आपको इंडिया में आके थोड़ा अपना बेस बनाना थोड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट है. लाइक इट इज द रियलिटी. पीपल माइट से दैट नहीं 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 बाहर से आ गए तो कैसे होगा, बट इट इज द रियलिटी एंड आई माई सेल्फ हैव फेस्ड दैट कि बाहर से प्लेयर लेके आया, बट नोबडी इज रियली गिविंग दैट अटेंशन टू दैट प्लेयर इन इंडिया. आई हैवंट सीन हिम इन इंडिया, व्हाई शुड आई गिव हिम अ चांस? Or you come for a trial or something like that. So it's a mix of both.
ओके. और एक चीज है कि बहुत से लोग हैं जिनको ट्रांसफर मार्केट क्या होता है नहीं पता है, क्या उसका यूज है. तो ट्रांसफर मार्केट का रोल थोड़ा सा आप समझा दे तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा.
Transfer market is my favorite, is my friend in this entire industry, because if you want, अगर आपको एक basic idea हो चाहते हो ना कि वो प्लेयर कैसा खेल रहा है, कहाँ खेला है लास्ट, दैट इज यू टाइप इन द नेम, फर्स्ट चीज आता है ट्रांसफर मार्केट. आप टाइप करोगे संदेश जिंगन ट्रांसफर मार्केट, it will show you everywhere he's played, the number of minutes he's played, कितने गोल मारे हैं, कितने असिस्ट मारे हैं. So it gives me or the people working in this industry an idea of what type of player they might be getting. मैं पर्सनली ट्रांसफर मार्केट बहुत यूज करता हूँ बिकॉज मुझे फॉरेनर स्काउटिंग करनी पड़ती है. तो अगेन फॉरेनर्स के लिए इट इज अ गोल्ड माइन फॉर मी, क्योंकि मुझे जाके नाम देखना पड़ता है कि भाई टॉप ला लीगा 2 टॉप स्कोरर कौन है. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ गिव्स अ रेडीमेड लिस्ट एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट. सो इट्स अ गोल्ड माइन फॉर मी पर्सनली. एंड ऑल्सो आई मीन बहुत सारे फैंस करते हैं यार, एक्चुअली बहुत सारे फैंस भी यूज करते हैं उनको, क्योंकि मान लो Adrian Luna जब आया था, nobody really knew that name, right? So when you saw transfer market, you were like Uruguay first division. Wow, Uruguay से पहला बहुत अच्छा प्लेयर है, इतने गोल मारे हो, wow, केरला ब्लास्टर्स के फैंस तो बहुत खुश हो गए थे तब. So it gives you that kind of basic information about how the player might be and things like that.
और मैं एक चीज पूछना चाहूंगा कि जैसे प्लेयर्स इतने महंगे महंगे ट्रांसफर होते हैं, इतना महंगा साइनिंग होता है, तो वैल्यू कैसे डिसाइड होती है कि इतनी वैल्यू का प्लेयर है?
See, Indian market is a very
हम्म
inflated market, right? And I don't want to be so blunt about it or disrespect someone just saying that, but it is the
हम्म
reality of things, right? Indian market is an extremely inflated market because of, and everything, the value of a player is decided upon the last season they've played, right?
हम्म
So everything depends on your last season's performance, right? And another way a value can be decided is how much the player is expecting, right? If a
हम्म
player is expecting, let's say, as an example, 50,000 a month, right? Obviously, as an agent, you will try to get that player a bit more, right? So
हम्म
that's how kind of your entire value is adjusted, right? Now, if you haven't had a very good season, right, but your current salary is very high, then you would obviously won't have to come down to kind of adjust yourself in the entire system. That's when your kind of value goes down, right? And if you talk to me about the transfer market का value, वो मुझे भी नहीं पता भाई। क्या देख के वो लोग 300,000 डालते हैं, यूएसडी डालते हैं, वो मुझे अभी तक नहीं पता। क्या देख के वो 1 million का evaluation डालते हैं, वो मुझे भी नहीं पता। But in a very real sense, this is what how a club or a player might decide the value of 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 a player. Yeah, and just for example, you know, Anirudh Thapa, right? This deal that has
हम्म
gone through with Mohun Bagan Super Giants, right? So
हम्म
there is it's a, how do you decide the value? Is that how much the other teams are also willing to bid, right? For a
हम्म
player like Anirudh Thapa, I'm 100% sure there would have been a bidding war between hundreds of teams, Mohun Bagan Super Giants, Chennai FC, Kerala Blasters, सबके साथ I'm pretty sure there would have been a bidding war. So once there is a bidding war,
हम्म
though your value keeps getting increased because obviously Anirudh Thapa, who wouldn't want such a player, right? So that's how your value keeps increasing. And Mohun Bagan Super Giants being them, the fact that they can afford such a player, they can afford players at that value, and the fact that he's part of Mohun Bagan Super Giants, that also increases the value of the player a lot. So another thing I would like to add is the brand matters a lot in first division football, not for young players, not at all for young
हम्म
players, right? Disclaimer, not at all for young players, but players who have been in the industry for a very long time. Your brand matters a lot. Why? Because if you're coming from a Kerala Blasters, there's a different brand. But
हम्म।
if you're in Mohun Bagan Super Giants, there's a different brand. So that also matters a lot.
और एक प्लेयर की फर्स्ट साइनिंग जो होती है, लाइक सपोज करें कि,
Mm-hmm.
तो वो फर्स्ट साइनिंग मतलब उसको कितना होप रखना चाहिए, कितनी एक्सपेक्टेशन होना चाहिए, बिकॉज यंग प्लेयर जो होता है वो तो काफी एक्सपेक्टेशन रखता है कि मैं उस, है ना, उतनी बड़ी लीग में जा रहा हूँ। तो वो उसके ऊपर मैं चाहूंगा कि आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे उसके ऊपर।
So for young players, focus on your football first, right? Football, पैसों के पीछे मत भागो अभी यार. The moment you think about having those expectations, yeah, I'll be earning 20, 30, 40,000 a month, and then I can have a lavish lifestyle at the age of 18. That is
हम्म
exactly where your footballing career stops, right? I understand बहुत लोगों के घर पे मजबूरी होती है, right? But till the time you don't take that opportunity to go ahead, how will you actually ensure that आप आगे जाके financially stable हो? So, I know players who, are in a way, they've played at a okayish level, right? But they are hesitant on giving trials, right? So उनके दिमाग में वो already expectation set हो जाती है कि भाई I would not give trials and
हम्म
something like that, right? So whenever my suggestion to footballers, whenever you're having an opportunity to play, just play at the end of the day. बाकी पैसों का जो भी है, at the age of 17, don't think so much about the money. That will eventually come. If you're playing well, trust me, you will earn lakhs and lakhs in the coming years. So all your hard work they're doing right now at the age of 16, 17 leads up to that lakhs and
हम्म
crores. Like आप सोचो, आपको लगता होगा कि सुनील छेत्री को पहले करोड़ मिलते थे कभी? नहीं ना. He also started from उस टाइम में दिन के 100-200 रुपए. So it is also just keep your expectations low when you're at a young age. When you have made a name for yourself in the industry, only then start having those expectations.
और एक फॉरेन प्लेयर, एक इंडियन प्लेयर,
Hmm.
तो कितना इजी या डिफिकल्ट है टू गेट इनटू अ क्लब? मतलब कि एज एन एजेंट आपके लिए कितना इजी या डिफिकल्ट होता है कि किसी फॉरेन प्लेयर को किसी आईएसएल क्लब में करना है या किसी इंडियन प्लेयर को आईएसएल क्लब में साइन करवाना है?
Foreigners, it's pretty tough. It is one of the toughest, things to get done. बहुत लोग करवाते भी हैं, but it's not easy because um, there are only few spots in the ISL, right? You would know there are only few spots, right? Overall, मिला के, let's say that 11 to 12 teams, maximum total, you can maximum have 60 to 70 foreigners, right? Maximum, that too. अगर मतलब मान लो bench पे भी बैठाना है and unregistered players को मान के, which मोहन बगान Super Giants have done for a while, John Johnson हो गया ये सब. So even after that, maximum 60 to 70 players in a season, that too at a higher end. Now, each agency scouts at least, I would say, personally, I must have at least gotten in touch with 3,000 to 4,000 players, and I think thoda kam hoga uspe. 3,000 to 4,000 players as an agency we have approached, right, for foreigners. So this is just my agency. I'm pretty sure there must be a lot of other agencies as well, right, who are doing the same job. So imagine having 4,000 to 5,000 into malo 10. So you're essentially in a pool of 50,000 foreigners and you can only have 60, right? So aap ab khud percentage calculate kar lo how difficult it is, right? So it is extremely difficult. Also, are trying to understand foreigners ke expectations, then unke demands ko kind of neutralize karwana, matching them up with the clubs, then which position they want. For instance, a lot of the times clubs have this requirement ki I need a defensive midfielder who can only also play as a center back, right? So giving that specific position to them also, while maintaining that standard of what the club might want, वो important है. Clubs also have a X amount of budget कि मुझे इतने budget में player चाहिए. So trying to negotiate with the player, even before offering that player to the club, I have my first round of negotiation कि भाई, I can only offer this much, and the club can only offer this much. Can we kind of negotiate here, right? And also there's also a sense of false expectation होता है foreigners के अंदर कि when I come to India, I will be earning in $400,000, $300,000 and stuff like that. Completely false, right? Right now, that amount of money can only be paid by very, very few clubs, right? I'm pretty sure like Jason Cummings, Armando Sadiku, Leskovic, Adrian Luna, these guys, right? So only few clubs can pay all of that. So जो उन्होंने बाहर से सुना है, अपने दोस्तों से सुना है, उनको फिर reality check पे लाना, that is also very important. So that is why बहुत बार मैंने देखा है, the funniest story is that I was talking to a player, told me my expectations for India is $1 million. I was like, छोड़ दे भाई, तू जा, मैं आगे बढ़ता हूँ. So ऐसे भी बहुत बार हुआ है. So just उनको grounded करना is also very important. Now talking about Indian players में it is also very tough getting Indian players into ISL, right? Because firstly, they need to have an exceptional, let's say if it's an iLeague player, right? They need to have an exceptional iLeague season to get into ISL, right? They have to be one of the best in that top 3, right? To be part of that, the potential ISL club. Now, on top of that, nowadays your age also matters a lot. If you're a top, let's say left back, and you're, let's say 30, then ISL clubs won't be looking at you as keenly as they're looking at an 18-year-old left back who's also done very well, right? Because now the perception in India is that I need younger players as much as possible, which is a very good thing, right? But for agents, it makes our job difficult because we know this player has done brilliantly in the last season, but बेचारे को age के वजह से a lot of teams aren't looking at them just because they don't see a future with that player, right? And again, game styles पे depend करता है and things like that. So it is equally difficult to get an Indian player into ISL also.
और मैं अभी एक बात की फॉरेन साइनिंग या फॉरेन प्लेयर की बात से एक बात मेरे दिमाग में आई कि क्या हमारे प्लेयर्स को फॉरेन से ऑफर्स नहीं आ रहे हैं, मतलब कि एशियन लीग से भी आ रहे हैं या नहीं आ रहे हैं, और अगर आ रहे हैं तो व्हाई वी आर नॉट गोइंग देयर, बिकॉज एशियन लीग्स में तो हम लोग जा ही सकते हैं.
सिंपल लॉजिक है उसका that firstly why would a player want to go, right? अगर आपको इंडिया में ही इतने पैसे मिल रहे हैं, right, why would a player want to go there? As I said, inflated market, right? अगर आपको इंडिया में अगर आपको करोड़ कमा रहे हो, आप बाहर जाके why would you settle down for lakhs? If you're kind of, just अगर आपको, why would you go for just few lakhs? Now it makes sense for a young Indian player to go there and try their luck and develop. But for instance, if there's a 25, 27-year-old, they would never consider going outside because a footballer's career can only go up till 38, 39. If you're Sunilchhetri, hopefully 42, 45, dikhte hain. But they also have to think about what after football. So that is one of the reasons why players prefer not to go to possibly Asian countries and all just to play. पैसा उधर 100% है, but even they, looking at our current rankings, they also don't give us that much importance as well. Ki, why should we pay such big amounts to Indian player, right? When उस equally good player में कहीं अपने दूसरे countries, उज़्बेकिस्तान हो गया, ऑस्ट्रेलिया हो गया, जापान हो गया, मैं उधर से ले आ सकता हूँ, right? So the players also need to understand that they also need to be in a very viable position for those Asian clubs. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to take you.
ओके. एंड वी सी कि काफी 16-17 के जो प्लेयर्स हैं एज के, वो बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, बहुत शानदार, और काफी एक्सपेक्टेशन भी उनसे कि आगे इंडिया के लिए कुछ अच्छा करेंगे. तो जब इनकी साइनिंग होती है तो दे आर नॉट 18, तो इनका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किस तरह से साइन किया जाता है?
Very good question. I think it's a very important question also. So when you're signing a minor player, there is always a guardian's signature also involved, right? Even when you're signing a representation agreement with an agent, we ensure that a player is there, a player का signature होना चाहिए. There's a guardian, mother, father, uncle, aunt, whoever is your guardian, unka signature and your agent's signature, right? That is one. In terms of the contract also, there's a lot of times I've seen their contracts which are थोड़ा technical हो जाएगा, but let me see if I can explain it in a proper manner. So I've seen a lot of contracts in which the entire contract is from a guardian first perspective, right? So you have to be very careful about that as well. When you have a contract which is from a guardian ka first perspective, as per lawyers, that is not right, because you cannot put that contract into, let's say, if you have a dispute or something, you cannot present that contract in front of FIFA, because your guardian is not playing football. The player is playing football. The under the player who's 17 right now is playing football. So that way, the way your contract is made also becomes even more important, right? The wording of the contract has to be that, okay, the contract is between the player and the club, with the guardian supporting the player, not the fact that the contract is between the club and the guardian with the player as the support, right? So things like that are very important, and it is very important for players to understand that also. And this is something even I got to learn while I was talking to a lot of sports lawyers and all. So these things are very small चीजें जो समझना बहुत important है. And another thing is, for education purpose only, if any agent, if you're under 18, agents are not allowed to charge you commission, right?
Okay.
This is very important. You cannot charge an under 18 player any commission. The moment you're 18, after that they're allowed. But if any agent is asking you to pay money when you're 16 17, that is absolutely not right. So ये एक और बहुत चीज है. Another thing is that for these under 17 players that are going into ISL, if their agents are asking you to give you money, that is also wrong. Why? Because the club is already paying them some commission, right? So when you're taking commission from a player and the club, that is considered as illegal. So these few things are very important to understand. And as an agent myself, I am completely transparent with my minor players regarding, okay, these are the clause, and these are the clause that are meant for a minor. These are the clubs that are meant for a an older or major player, and this is the reason why I've put this clause. So these are just a few factors that are very important to for players to understand as well. And बहुत लोग ऐसे ignore कर देते हैं, बहुत young players ignore कर देते हैं. And a lot of the times मेरे पास 17 साल 16 साल के बच्चे आते हैं, भैया how much commission will you take? I'm like, I won't charge you any commission because you're 18, but the day you're 18 I will charge you commission. So having that knowledge is very important.
और हमने अभी इस सीजन मतलब हमने देखा कि उदांता ने एफसी गोवा के लिए प्री कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन किया, अनवर अली ने मोहन बागान के लिए प्री कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन किया था. तो क्या प्री कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मतलब क्या होता है, एंड क्या प्री कॉन्ट्रैक्ट टर्मिनेट हो सकता है?
Okay. So consider a pre-contract just as a simple contract only, right? But what a pre-contract, the small difference is that there is something called an exclusive negotiating end date, which is basically says that as per FIFA, you can start talking to clubs 6 months prior to the ending of your current contract. For instance, if my contract is getting over on 31st of May, then I'm allowed to talk to clubs from, let's say, 6 months ka December ho gaya, right? So I'm allowed to talk to clubs at that time, right? And let's say if I've reached to an agreement with the club ki okay, I will be taking XYZ money and मैं 3-4 साल के लिए sign करूंगा, then I can sign a pre-contract at that time stating that after my stint at Bangalore FC, I have officially joined FC Goa, right? So it is kind of a way कि players clubs अपने पहले से ही वो player book करके रखते हैं कि बाकी जैसे आगे जाकर और कोई लेना ले, right? And in fact this pre-contract work is kind of very common in the business, right? I-League में तो बहुत common होता है, right? So ऐसे it is very important for players to know कि भाई 31st, it's not that कि आप 31st के बाद ही बात कर सकते हो. It is you can start your discussions in December only.
और मैं एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहूंगा जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि हाउ एजेंट अर्न मनी फ्रॉम मतलब ट्रांसफर फीस हो गई या उनकी साइनिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो गया, मतलब कैसे अर्न करता है? बिकॉज लॉट्स ऑफ प्लेयर डोंट नो कि भाई आपका जो एजेंट आपसे पैसे कहाँ से लेगा, कैसे लेगा.
There are two aspects to it. As I said earlier, if a player is in the ISL, I would never charge that player money because the ISL club is already paying me commission.
Okay.
Or on the other hand, if there's a I-League club, and most of the times I-League clubs do not pay commission to the agent. So then what we do is we kind of talk to the player in advance only कि we will be taking XYZ amount of percentage from your salary as our commission, right? Now it is also very important to understand that an agent cannot, I think if I'm not wrong, 7% is the max an agent can take, right? So if an agent is asking you to pay 20%, then that is also illegal. You cannot charge a player 20% of commission, howsoever desperate you might be. अगर तुम्हें agent बोलता है कि अगर तू 20% देगा फिर ही मैं तेरे club दूंगा, that is illegal. You don't go to बहुत सारे अलग agents होंगे who will possibly charge you 5 to 7%, right? So, or even at times, let's say 10% is also a decent commission, but it's not frowned upon. But when you go more than that, it is obviously frowned upon. So again, the range is 5 to 7%. You get the salary, you pay to us, and that's how eventually we earn money. Now, a lot of the times, this happens a lot in international transfers. बाहर देखोगे, let's say Saudi Arabia में जो अभी हो रहा है, lot of transfer fee work that's going on. So agents can also earn from getting a percentage from the transfer fee as well, right? For facilitating that entire deal, right? Because it is important for the agents to also be paid for their efforts. कि एक club को अगर कोई player चाहिए and that player is contracted, getting that transfer fee to an X amount of value, which is acceptable by club one and club two, is also a very difficult task, trust me. So they also take a small bit from that as well, right? So these are 3-4 ways of kind of getting your commission. And other than that, there are a lot of sponsorship commissions as well. Obviously, in India, sponsorship for like paid sponsorship is very rare. Now because the Indian football has kind of gained that momentum, it is becoming much more visible in the entire industry. So another method is if some company is paying you, let's say uh, some shoe brand is paying you, Nike is paying you, let's say 50 lakhs for one endorsement, you also take a chunk of that commission from that deal also. So these are few ways of kind of getting your money in the industry. So, but again, I as an agent, if you're taking money from both sides, then that player is like can sue you in court. These are few of the the factors that are involved as how agents kind of make money. Don't think of agents as someone who's always trying to manipulate you, right? एक इंडिया में बहुत साल से एक परसेप्शन है कि भाई एजेंट है तो बस पैसा बनाने के लिए आया है, राइट? वो मुझे काइंड ऑफ चकमा मार के वो अपना निकल जाएगा and he won't help me. Don't think of nowadays, don't think of agents like that. Nowadays, I've seen this change that agents are people who want to help you. Agents are people who want you to grow. Agents are people who are always there for you as your friend or a mentor, right? So things like that are also, just keep that in mind before you think that ki agent आएगा तो भाई यार मुझसे पैसा ही लेके जाएगा. So that perception is also, and that perception is not just there in players, that perception is there in parents nowadays, that perception is there in coaches nowadays. So don't think of us as a very negative kind. We are also there to help you. Obviously, if you do well, you will also be helping us आगे जाके, right? So it's a two-way relationship. अगर आप मुझे help नहीं करोगे तो मैं भी आपको ज़्यादा help नहीं कर पाऊंगा. If you don't trust me, there's no way I can trust you either. So try to have that bond with people. Try to have that bond with your agent as kind of a bhai in a way, but not to the extent कि भाई घर भर की बातें बता दूंगा. Maintain that sense of professionalism as well, but also be comfortable kind of talking to your agent about any frustrations or anything that's going wrong in your life in a very footballing sense. And if you're able to discuss that, if you're able to be very transparent with your player and vice versa, if the player is being able to be very transparent with you about how they feel, only then kind of go in with that agent. So trying to understand which type of agent you like is very important also. So this is something I would like to end with, because I think ये थोड़ा change लाना is very important.
Correct. Okay, so thank you so much for sharing all the information, because अभी काफी जो प्लेयर्स है, काफी फैंस है, उनको काफी एजुकेशन मिल जाएगी कि क्या है एक्चुअली में एजेंट, और जितने भी उनके दिमाग में मिथ्स रही होगी वो अभी नहीं रहेगी, और मैं यही चाहता था. तो आई होप कि सभी प्लेयर्स अब एजेंट से जो है कांटेक्ट करने में वो झिझक होती है कि क्या देखेगा, क्या मांगेगा, वो अब नहीं होगी. आई थिंक
फुटबॉल के बारे में बात करने में हमेशा मजा आता है. So I
ऑलवेज.
especially had a really good time just talking about this. So thank you so much for having me. And yeah, anytime if anybody has any questions regarding any of anything that's going on in the footballing industry, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't hesitate to shoot me a text on Instagram or wherever you find me, or even Dhanraj. Now that now both of us know how things work. Don't hesitate to reach out to anybody and just go in with a free mind, and you'll be fine.
ओके, सो दैट्स इट गाइस। और अगर आपको कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम हो तो आप मुझे टेक्स्ट कर सकते हैं, आप शिवादित्य को टेक्स्ट कर सकते हैं, एंड वी आर देयर टू हेल्प यू। सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस शिवादित्य, एंड आई
Thank you
होप
so
कि
much, bhai. Thank you so much.
एंड आई होप वी विल सी यू ऑन टॉप ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री।
I hope so too. I hope so. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.